listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is.
Perfect.
You know what time it is, but it is not a good time for anybody in WWE right now. It's that time of the year. Budget cuts. Budget cuts, kid. Budget cuts. It's that time of the year nobody wants to talk about. Unfortunately, nobody wants to talk about this nonsense and hear about people losing their jobs. But it is that time of year where WWE is making cuts. And we are here to talk about all of them. And SmackDown's got a new home.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Let's talk about it. Let's not waste any more time, but before we do, hit the goddamn like button, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. What the Wrestling, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Follow What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. RJDTV2 for all you people out there, all you gamers out there. RJDTV, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And on the Twitter, aka XRJD199. Let us not waste any more time. Let's go. Yes. Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling yet again. Man, oh man. Budget cuts. Man. No, not yet. Listen. At the end of the day, we will get into some budget cuts. We will get into all of that stuff. But to be honest, some of these guys, I'm relieved. I'm happy for them. They could go out on the indies and kill it. So I am very happy for what is going to come next for a bunch of these guys. But first things first, we will talk about SmackDown. Not SmackDown. That comes on Sunday. My bad. Let's hit the button.
Nope.
We will talk about Grand Slam. We'll talk about the budget cuts. But first things first, WWE SmackDown is moving from Fox to USA. And they're in a deal with NBC Universal. So, Friday Night SmackDown will be moving from Fox to USA Network next year under a new 5-year deal, domestic media rights partnership with NBC Universal. SmackDown is a weekly 2-hour program, but there are talks that they might be going up to 3 hours.
Nope.
Stop it. Get some help.
SmackDown will begin airing on the USA Network in October 2024. Fox had a 5-year deal for SmackDown worth over $1 billion. But the deal for SmackDown that started prior to 2019. Prior to that, SmackDown had aired on the USA Network from 2016 to 2019. And the financial terms of the deal between WWE and NBC Universal were not disclosed. But they probably got a hell of a lot of money, which they should have. I mean, why not? But at the end of the day, SmackDown has moved around constantly. I remember it was on Channel 9, then it was on something else, then it was on USA, then it was on something else. I mean, I was around, I'm old enough to remember SmackDown's inception. So, I'm just, I'm glad they have a home. I don't know what Fox is going to do. There's a lot of weird stuff right now that's going on in TV and media. A lot of people are consolidating. Disney isn't doing well as a whole. They let go of ESPN. Will Disney or Amazon pick up NXT or something like that? Who knows? I don't know. I do like the fact that maybe NXT will stay on TV. I mean, I don't watch NXT like I used to. It's not black and gold, so I don't watch it. But I do watch it from time to time. I do watch the specials. The wrestling still is great, and there's still a lot of people that I love. Ilya Dragunov, believe it or not, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Tiffany Stratton. There are a hell of people down there that I like, and I can't wait to see them get to the main roster. I can't wait to see people get peppered up and get refined before they get to the main roster and go up to the main roster and become big, big stars for my and other people's entertainment. But this is not uncommon. Every time there's a damn new deal, every time there's a year where the deal may be up for Raw or SmackDown, there's always something. But now that they're going back to USA basically doubling down on their wrestling. They got more Raw. They got more, I think Raw's coming up soon too. So they have their Raw, they have their SmackDown, and they're good. That's it. Nothing else more to see here. Nothing else more to say here. Should be all good. But the fact that Fox, there are a lot more eyeballs on Fox. But when Vince McMahon left, then everything started to go up. The PLEs or pay-per-views are up. They've only had one pay-per-view this year. Every other pay-per-view this year has been a killer. Excuse me, because I'm like getting choked up in here. My trusted water. Don't leave home without it. Every other pay-per-view this year has been killer. Except for the last one. And even the last one wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as every other pay-per-view this year. So everything has been up since Vince left. Then Vince came back and everything started going back to mediocre again. But revenue is up. Everything is up. Viewership is up. Revenue is up. But, I mean, they're making as much money as they can make. And actually, they had a meeting. Let me put this up. Vince's meeting with employees. So, WWE had a staff meeting because they let go over 100 employees. And the merger just got finalized, last Thursday? So the merger got finalized last Thursday. And if you thought that it was just going to stop at employees, then you're bugging. You're bugging. So as of September 12th, the WWE has officially merged with UFC under the parent company Endeavor to form TKO Group Holdings. The takeover was met with great fanfare at the New York Stock Exchange and has resulted in massive earnings for Nick Khan, Triple H, Vince McMahon, and other executives whose performance is largely tied to the performance of the company. So, I have no doubt that a lot of people made a lot of money when they went public. And honestly, TKO is going to be fine. When you have the financial conditions that you see, as far as the economy and everything going on in the world right now, in the US with the economy, you're going to see mergers happen. And they literally just merged UFC and WWE under one company. And when you have mergers, if you've been around for people that have been through mergers, when you have mergers, people get fired, unfortunately. The first thing they do is they cut out departments in which they don't need. And this unfortunately, this unfortunately has happened with TKO as well. So a lot of departments got slashed, and over 100 employees, they basically said,
Get the fuck out of here!
and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let me continue to read. However, the same joy, and this is from TJRWrestling.net. However, the same joy isn't being felt by many former employees who found themselves out of work. Nick Khan sent an email to staff instructing them to work remotely on September 15th. Workforce reductions. What does that even mean? That sounds stupid. Were beginning in earnest. In the end, over 100 employees were let go, with Dana Warrior among those no longer employed with the company.
Bruh.
I don't know about you, but anytime you have that many people being let go, of course morale's going to be low. Of course people are not going to be feeling the company. Of course they're going to be like, man, F you. I mean, they let go of a hell of a lot of people. It's like when you have a merger, it's like, okay, how much we paying these people? What department is that? Man, we don't need that department. We'll create a new department. What department is this? We don't need that shit. Get it out of here. And that's what it is. And unfortunately, that's the name of the game. That's business. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. The morale among staff was said to be decimated following the mass layoffs, and the staff meeting was scheduled to take place on the 19th of September. Vince McMahon spoke at a rah-rah WWE staff meeting. PW Insider reports details of the staff meeting. Nothing that took place around, nothing that it, what the hell? Noting, I said nothing.
Stupid.
Oh man. Noting that it took place around 11 a.m. Eastern at WWE's headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, which I pass every single day. And Endeavor head Ari Emanuel, who is also CEO of TKO Group Holdings, was present at the meeting, as were WWE President Nick Khan and Vince McMahon, who now serves as executive chairman on the board for TKO. All three men reportedly spoke at the meeting, which lasted about 12 to 15 minutes.
Nope.
Yeah, basura. According to the report, the meeting was seen as a rah-rah gathering meant to hype up the future of WWE under Endeavor, promising that the outlook is bright. Emmanuel Khan and McMahon reportedly had great praise for one another during the meeting, and also praised the success of the merger of WWE as a whole. And there were reports also coming out that Vince McMahon said that WWE has stagnated, therefore they needed to make a merger.
Get the fuck out of here!
What is he talking about? WWE's profits are up. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars every year through TV deals and such. The pay-per-views, the PLEs were awesome. As soon as he got outed from the company, Triple H took over, brought back a bunch of wrestlers. Now, it hasn't been all perfect. We can't sit here and cap. It's not like it's all been perfect. But the product was better overall as a whole, and the numbers reflected that. So what in the holy F is this man talking about? WWE was stagnated. No, you're stagnated. What the hell is he talking about?
How dare you?
So, with that being said, that's what it is with the merger. That's what's going on there. I wish everybody the best. I hope they get out there and they get new jobs quickly. Nobody likes to see their livelihood snatched from them. But honestly, with this climate right now and companies merging all over the place, you got to produce. You got to be able to produce, and you got to be able to prove your worth. Otherwise, your company will get rid of you. And when there's a merger, that's the first thing they look to do is cut departments and slash and save money whenever they can. Thus, the mass layoffs. Thus, the releases from all of these wrestlers. So 20 plus wrestlers have been released. Let's start at the bottom. Abdul R.B. Fitzgerald, don't know who that is. Brooklyn Barlow, that looks like NXT. Alexis Gray, probably NXT. Daniel MacArthur, probably NXT. Kevin Ventura Cortez, Bryson Montana, Quincy Elliott. Now, Quincy Elliott, I don't know what they were planning for him. I don't know what they were trying to do with Quincy, but I didn't see Quincy lasting long. Very charismatic cat, but I didn't see it. Ulisa Leon, Ikman Jiro. Now with Jiro, I thought Jiro had potential, but Jiro, like Kushida, had a ceiling that just was going to be what it was. Even though Jiro's great, I think he was actually starting to get over with the fans, which is crazy. I think, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what the hell was going on there. I think Jiro was starting to get over with the fans, but unfortunately, they let him go. Shankly, Dabakato, like I said, they used them for the Raw Underground stuff, used them for some other stuff. But in NXT, every 6 months, they have these things, and it's like, if you're not progressing, we're getting you up out of here. So it is what it is there. Dana Brooke, and this one is surprising because Dana Brooke has held on for so goddamn long. It's like, I thought Dana Brooke is like Natalya. I just thought they'd find ways to use her on main event. They'll find ways to put her in there versus other talent to get them over. But nope, she going too. Mansoor, who is actually a good wrestler. Mace, aka Mace, that gimmick was dead on arrival. That's some Vince McMahon shit. And once Vince left, they were kind of stranded, both of them. They really weren't doing anything, and it's kind of like, Mansoor was actually good if they would have built them up right. And Mace is actually good, but they had that group, and they put Mansoor, Mace, Mace in the group, and they killed the group. The group never had any legs, and this is what happens. You get put in the Maximum Male Models trash. Those guys will be all right. Mansoor, Mace, they're both good wrestlers. They'll be fine. Rick Boogs, this one is shocking.
Stop it. Get some help.
Because Rick Boogs was great in NXT, charismatic as hell. They dropped the ball on Rick Boogs. But sadly to say, once he tore his goddamn ACL, I think it was, in that match when they put him with Shinsuke, I think they could have gave them a run with the tag titles. I think they were getting over. They were starting to get over, and then maybe they weren't going to get the titles, but they were starting to get over to get those tag titles, and then he tore his ACL. Then they took him from Shinsuke, and then that was it. Because, I mean, he got the crowd hype. He would get the crowd hype, so I think Rick Boogs will be just fine. He's too damn charismatic and too good, and he's strong as holy hell to just be floating around. He'll be fine. Top Dollar. People give Top Dollar a lot of credit. I mean, a lot of shit. But you got to give the man credit. He lost a hell of a lot of weight. He's a big fella. He made it to the NFL, which is in itself impressive. He made it to the NFL. He'll be fine. He's a big guy. He tried pro wrestling. Maybe he'll leave pro wrestling. Maybe he'll come back to pro wrestling in another capacity. But Top Dollar, I think, as a sportscaster, he's charismatic, got a good mouthpiece. Top Dollar will be fine. He's going to be okay. Like, Top Dollar's going to be okay. Surprised they didn't get rid of the whole hit row, but I am glad that they didn't get rid of the whole hit row. I think Ashanti the Adonis with B-Fab, I think they could be something if packaged properly. But without Swerve, this group, they were fighting an uphill battle ever since they came back. I was happy they came back, but it's like they didn't do anything with them. They didn't give them a chance. It's like, you're not going to get over after a week or two. Give them a chance to get over. Give them a chance to show what they've got. And they just didn't. And it sucks, but it is what it is. Aaliyah, they started doing stuff with her, but I guess they got rid of her too. And that sucks. You got Riddick Moss and Emma. Riddick Moss has a great look. Now, unfortunately, these two are dating. I don't know if they're fiance, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, but I know they are dating. And Emma, it's like I was happy when she came back, but they never used her to that capacity. I remember when she got released the first time and she showed up in Impact, who has a stellar women's division, but she came back and they just didn't use her. You just, no video package, no anything. Not trying to hype her up, no nothing. Just, hey, Emma's back. Riddick Moss, they used him. He was on TV. They were doing stuff with him. I think he's good, but the gimmick they gave him, it didn't work. It wasn't getting over. And that was that. Then we start to get to the people that are very surprising. Mustafa Ali. I think they could have let this brother go 2 years ago and let him go do him and showcase what he can do. This brother can walk into AEW tomorrow and start putting on great matches. Impact. He could go to New Japan if he wanted to. This brother can wrestle his ass off, and I hope that he gets to showcase everything that he can do, because Mustafa Ali's got skills. So I'm happy for him. I think he has a potential to go out and kill it if he really wants to. B. Matt Cardona, Indie God. He's got that potential. Then we have Elias. Back to him. Mustafa Ali, I think, was ready to go as well. I think it was a mutual, yo, bro, y'all not using me. Let me go out there and make something of myself. Let me go out there and showcase my skills. Let me not waste time here in catering when I could be going out there having killer matches. Shout out to him. I think both parties parted ways. I think it was the right decision. Elias has had some big moments with WWE. And for them to let him go after he did the Ezekiel thing, he played his twin brother, he played himself. I don't know what they were planning to do there, but they had him doing the drift away stuff in NXT. I like that gimmick. They could have put him with Rick Boogs and had them doing guitar solos and killing people with guitar concertos. They could have did something there, but they never did. Elias has had some big moments with WWE. I think if he wants to, he'll be fine if he hits the indies. But shout out to Elias. There was a spot for him, but now they're moving in a different direction. I think they could have still used Elias. We'll see what happens. Shelton Benjamin, been a long staple with the company. He left, I think, for a while. He came back. He is 50 years old or close to 50. So could they have used him to help the other guys, show him the ropes, show him how things are done? Yes. Did they want to do it? No, sadly. So that sucks. But Shelton Benjamin can go out there and still kill if he still wants to wrestle too. He could go backstage and be a producer. He could go teach people how to wrestle. Like, he's got a lot of options. So Shelton Benjamin's another one who will be fine. Dolph, Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler could walk into AEW tomorrow and start feuding. Dolph Ziggler could start a long-standing feud with Matt Cardona on the Indies. And Dolph Ziggler is one of those ones where he could hit the Indies and rip it up. Even more so than Mustafa Ali. He could hit the Indies and just kill it. I think Matt Cardona put out a tweet. Let me see if I can pull it up. Cardona tweet about released wrestlers. Oh, here we go. Got it right here. Got it right here. Former Intercontinental Champion Matt Cardona shared some words of wisdom to all performers who were let go of WWE as part of its latest round of budget cuts. And the tweet is as follows. To those who are just released, this can be the end of your career or it can be the beginning, in caps. Look at yourself in the mirror and decide. I promise you the work and the money is out there. It's not easy. It's a grind. It's a hustle. It's frustrating, but it also can be incredibly rewarding in more ways than one if you work your effing ass off. I hope to see a lot of you down the road, Matt Cardona. And between Dolph Ziggler and Mustafa Ali, rip it up. And also one Matt Riddle today was released. It is said that Matt Riddle had just burned too many bridges in WWE. He had the whole thing with Seth Rollins, even though they still did business. He had the whole allegation against him, which, I mean, obviously I don't think anything came from it. Otherwise, they quickly took him off TV. I think they did an investigation with that. He had a stint in rehab, if I'm not mistaken. Did he go to rehab? Wait, Matt Riddle, rehab. Matt Riddle, rehab. I think he did go to rehab. Yeah, Matt Riddle's been battling addiction for a long time and even is cost him a job at UFC. WWE offered to send him to rehab and stated that this contract would be terminated if he refused. But Riddle was open to accepting WWE's offer and now entered the rehab facility to, oh yeah. So I don't know if the rehab was to, you know, that ganja or if it was something else, but Matt Riddle did go to rehab. He came out. He had the RK Bro thing with Randy Orton. They won tag team gold. Crazy over as a tag team. Loved it. Randy Orton got hurt. They still continue to use Riddle, which is great. But then, as always, he started, you know, floating. So he was still on TV. It's not like he was not working or not on TV. But unfortunately, today they let him go. I guess he was one of those guys that was like, you know what? Is the risk worth the reward? And I guess they decided no. So Matt Riddle got cut as well. So to all of those who got cut, like Matt Cardona said, I think all of these guys, I think, are going to land on their feet. It sucks to see that they all got cut. But I think that in the end, they will all be okay. And for some of those guys, I am happy for them. Not happy that they lost their job, but happy that they will get to go out there and showcase their awesome creativity and actually do what they want to do as far as wrestle. So, best of luck to all those guys involved. I hope to see them on the indie scene, Impact, on Ring of Honor, AEW, and New Japan. So, let's talk about Grand Slam. Grand Slam felt more like a NXT Black and Gold takeover. Only had 5 matches. Was really good. And the fact that it only had 5 matches and it was matches had time to breathe. People had time to tell stories. And the 5-match card I like because everybody has time. Everybody gets a chance to showcase what they can do. You progress storylines and you have little things in between. And it's a special show. It's not like a regular Dynamite. It's a special show. It's Grand Slam. Now, they didn't sell it out like they did the first time, but it's fine. It's fine. People showed up and they were hyped. First match, Eddie Kingston, Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio and Eddie have had this long rivalry for years and years and years. Eddie Kingston is from New York. He's a badass. We love Eddie because Eddie Kingston makes us feel like wrestling is real because all he does is treat it like a shoot. You don't know if he's shooting or working. And Eddie Kingston, I still think he deserves a run with the championship. And the story here is he finally was able to overcome himself and his anger and actually beat Claudio. And this was a hell of a match, hell of an opener. Kicked out of the Ricola Bomb. Eddie Kingston, Claudio beat the piss out of each other. Claudio with the handshake at the end of the match, showing respect, showing love. This was fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. Then we had Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Even though the feud has been lackluster with these two, they went at it and they had a good-ass match. The match was good. Sammy did he went for, I think, a 450. He got hit with the code breaker. And afterwards, he shook Jericho's hand. And then he did the old Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, kick him in the cojones, push him on the floor. And he sold it just like Shawn Michaels sold it. Obviously, they redid the same thing. And Don Callis comes down and he joins. And apparently, it looks like he turned heel and joined the Don Callis family. First of all,
Surprise, motherfucker.
Didn't see that coming. Second of all,
Stupid.
kind of makes no sense. The JAS broke up because Jericho was going to join the Don Callis family, but after he found out it was a ruse, he went against Don Callis, only for Sammy to join the Don Callis family anyway, instead of Jericho. Okay, cool. Moving on. Rey Fenix versus Jon Moxley. They beat the piss out of each other. It looks like Jon Moxley suffered a concussion. That's what reports are going on. He might have suffered it in the beginning of the match. He might have suffered it at the end of the match. Nobody knows. The only thing is, he was taken to the hospital. He walked out under his own power. He was telling everybody he's fine. But the end of this match, he got hit with the He got hit with the power driver and didn't kick out. The ref counted to 2 and then stopped, but there was no kick out, so everybody booed it. Rightfully so. And then Phoenix picked him back up, hit him with another power driver. And Phoenix won after the audible was obviously called.
Stupid.
So obviously the audible was called because on the entrance ramp, they think Jon Moxley hit his head or something like that. So Jon Moxley might have been effed up. And then they called the audible and the referee forgot. Or he got hit with the package power driver a little bit too good, landed on the top of his dome, and he was so loopy, he just forgot to kick out. So he said, yo, you got to pin me, bro. I'm effed up. You just pin me, whatever. I don't know. So who knows what happened here, but it was weird as hell. Best wishes to Jon Moxley. Maybe Rey Fenix could get a little run with the international title. Let Jon Moxley go away for a while. Let Rey Fenix get about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defenses of the title. And then Jon Moxley comes back after his concussion. He's cleared. He's 100%. Rematch with Rey Fenix, and he beats him. And then whatever you want to do with Moxley leading up to that, you just continue it from where you left off. Fine here. Hopefully everything's okay. Just wish John the best. Saraya versus Toni Storm. I'm loving Toni Storm's new gimmick. The New York crowd was totally into Toni Storm. Toni Storm hit the Storm Zero after smooching with Saraya, and she kicked out, and Saraya ended up beating her after a distraction, and she got hit with the, I forget what Saraya's calling her finish, but she got hit with the elevated DDT and lost. Toni Storm is getting over with this gimmick. She's like, I just don't know what's going on. Like, you people don't understand. I'm just throwing shoes everywhere. Like, shout out to Toni Storm, man. This gimmick, I like it. I think they should keep running with it. And maybe she gets the title later on. Maybe she goes after the TBS title. I don't know. But I like what they're doing here. Keep telling the story. Let her spiral into dissension and go to rock bottom. And then build her back up to get a title. Love it. MJF versus Samoa Joe. The story of this match was MJF's neck. And from the beginning bell, Samoa Joe beat the holy shit out of this brother. And MJF sold it and sold it and sold it. And everybody's going crazy for babyface MJF saying, "You're my scumbag." Chance. He came out with Mets gear, but every other New York team on the jacket. Everybody loved him. MJF is the best. And at the end, Adam Cole came in. They got the Dynamite Diamond ring. He got caught trying to use it, but he took tape. Adam Cole distracted, and he took tape, wrapped it around Joe's neck, choked Joe out like he said he would, and then the tape, he puts it in his armpit, it drops, and then he hugs the referee, and Adam Cole takes the tape, and he's like, yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. Now, unfortunately, not Samoa Joe. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only one hit with the injury bug, Jon Moxley. So apparently, Adam Cole, when he jumped off the ramp, twisted his ankle or his knee or something, and he went to the hospital when he left on crutches. That's what the reports say. It sucks that he got hurt. That really sucks that he got hurt. And hopefully it was just a sprained ankle and he'll be good in a week or two and it's nothing serious. I mean, I've jumped off things and sprained my ankle before. I mean, it looks like he was running too fast for his own good. Ish happens, but you never want to see somebody like Adam Cole go down with a sprained ankle or a messed up knee or something crazy like a ligament damage in the knee, and then he's got to be on the shelf for 9 months, and then we can't see where this story goes. So you never want to see that. Hopefully it's just an ankle. I haven't heard nothing about Adam Cole being hurt at all. So let me see. I haven't heard anything about him being hurt. So hopefully it's just a sprained ankle and everything's okay. So there you go. Hopefully he's fine. So it's funny how they did this little thing where MJF talks to this little kid during his entrance. And then the little kid says, "He said I was adopted." And then the father's sitting there like, wait, what? Shout out to MJF, man. This Grand Slam was one hell of a show. Good stuff. Love it. Great. Best wishes to Mox. Best wishes to Adam Cole. And that's all she wrote. So, unfortunately, a lot of people lost their jobs, but it's not the end. It is only the beginning. I wish all of those people well. I think they'll be fine. So we will see where all of them end up. As for me, I'm out of here. That's all I got for you guys. So, as always, stay tuned on Sunday. We got SmackDown. We got Collision to talk about. And we got more wrestling news. Hopefully nobody else gets released. And that's it. So, from me to you, I'm gone. Everybody be safe. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.